You've probably seen them everywhere, these new AI tools for managing your money. And yeah, they promise a lot, right? Automation, smarter insights, a totally hands-off approach to your finances. But here's the thing, and it's a big one. There's a huge difference between just using a new tool and actually upgrading your entire financial system. So let's get into it. And that really brings us to the core question of this whole thing. When you download that shiny new AI app, are you making a genuinely smart upgrade to your financial life? Or are you just plugging in a risky new gadget without even looking at the instructions? Believe me, the answer to that question changes everything. So here's the game plan for today. We're going to explore that difference between a simple add-on and a real system upgrade. First, we'll identify the three core financial systems you already have. Then we'll dive into the trap of unintegrated AI, figure out how to pull off a smart system upgrade, and finally, we'll talk about how to think of AI as a responsible assistant. Okay, let's jump right into our first section, your three financial systems. To really get our heads around this, we need a good analogy. So I want you to think of your entire financial life as a building. It's got a foundation, it's got internal wiring, it's got safety codes. It is a complete system that's already up and running, even if you've never thought about it this way before. Understanding this blueprint is absolutely the first step. You see, every single financial building, yours, mine, everybody's, has three core, non-negotiable systems that are keeping it from falling down. You have a system for budget control, one for managing investment risk, and another for legal compliance. Even if you haven't given them these fancy names, I promise you, you're using them. Let's break down what each one really is. First up, your budget control system. Look, these are just the rules you live by for spending and saving. You know, like your personal rule to sock away 15% of every paycheck, or to keep your rent under a certain amount. In our building analogy, this is all the internal wiring, all the little circuits. It's what dictates where the power, your money, actually flows day in and day out. Next up, we've got your investment risk management system. This is your big picture strategy. It's how you handle risk versus reward. Are you an aggressive investor, going for high growth, or are you maybe getting closer to retirement and need to be more conservative? This system, this is the main power grid that feeds the entire building. It's the source of your long-term financial juice. And finally, the legal compliance system. This is all about how you make sure everything you're doing is, legal and above board, from taxes to investment rules. Are you putting enough aside for quarterly taxes if you're a freelancer? In our building, this is the fire and safety code. It is absolutely non-negotiable. You can't ignore it, because if you get this wrong, the whole structure could come crashing down. And that brings us to section 2, the unintegrated AI trap. So, picture this. You've got this well-designed building with its own wiring, its own power grid, its own safety codes. What happens when you bring in a brand new, super powerful, smart gadget, an AI tool, and you just plug it into the nearest socket without even glancing at the blueprint? Well, you can probably guess. That's where you get a system overload. That's where you run into some serious trouble. And this comparison just nails the problem perfectly. On the one hand, you have the isolated app. It's like a shiny new gadget that's not connected to anything else. It's just doing its own thing, creating chaos and potential conflicts. But on the other hand, you see the goal, weaving that AI right into your existing foundation, making it an integrated part of the system, which makes the whole building stronger. Now, what's wild is how real these dangers are. For example, an unintegrated AI might see some hot new stock and tell you to buy, completely ignoring your conservative risk tolerance. That's like plugging in an appliance that immediately blows a fuse. Or maybe it suggests some complex trades without realizing you don't have a way to track the tax mess it's creating. Well, you just violated your building's safety code. Okay, so that's the trap, but how do we avoid it? Well, that brings us to section 3, the smart system upgrade. This is where we stop just adding gadgets and start performing a true intelligent upgrade. It's all about being intentional, being thoughtful, and connecting the AI to your core foundation instead of just, plugging it in and hoping for the best. Let's take a look at this table to see exactly how this works. Instead of the AI just doing its own thing, its smart analysis plugs directly into your existing systems. For your budget control, it helps forecast expenses, making sure all the circuits are compatible. For risk management, it analyzes market trends, connecting right to your main power grid. And for legal compliance, it's running checks and giving you reminders, making sure everything meets the fire code. See, it supports your systems. It doesn't try to override them. So the crucial point is this. The goal isn't just to have a few smart gadgets lying around your house. The goal is to transform your entire financial house into an integrated, truly smart building, where every single component works together safely and seamlessly. This brings us to our final section, and it's really all about reframing how we think of AI. We need to see it as a responsible assistant, and this takes a fundamental shift in our mindset. It's about changing our relationship with these tools. We've got to stop looking for a dangerous autopilot to take over, and instead start building a stable, effective partnership with our technology. And this right here, this is probably the single most important takeaway from our entire discussion. AI cannot replace your judgment. It can't own your decisions. It can't own your strategy. Its proper role is to be trained by you to serve as a responsible assistant that gives you data and analysis to help you make better, smarter decisions. So how do you actually do that? Well, you can adopt this pretty simple 4-step framework. First, understand the context of your own financial world. Second, use that context for planning and assessing the risks. Third, exercise leadership by setting your own principles and rules. And finally, you manage the operation and audit. You execute your plan and then you review the results. This makes you the architect of the building, not just someone living inside it. So as we finish up, I'm going to leave you with this one question to chew on. Take a look at the tools you're using right now. Are you building a stable, long-term partnership with them where you are firmly in control? Or have you fallen into the autopilot trap, just hoping some gadget will do all the hard thinking for you? Your answer is what will define the future of your financial building.